So Aaron, we're super stoked you're here with us, and we are really excited to hear a little bit more about you. But first, let's hear a little bit more about your background, where you're from, what you do. Give us the whole spiel, the whole 9 yards. Not too long, of course, but as much as you can.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah,
Dude, first of all, thanks for having me on here. I
of
just love the
course.
idea of what you're doing, man. Like, I just think like any little bit of good that we can do is worth it. No
Yeah,
matter how incremental, how small it might be, like it makes a difference. It makes an impact.
yeah.
So I love this platform. I love what you're doing. So thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, a little bit about myself. I grew up in Seattle, Washington. I'm the second of four boys. My parents are incredible people. They immigrated here from Korea.
Wow.
Um, yeah, my mom was like 11, moved to Chicago with her family. My dad moved to Hawaii when he was 19. So, rich history of
That's so
like,
cool.
yeah, being out of the United States, coming here, starting something new, starting something fresh.
Totally fresh.
Yeah, and I actually think a lot about legacy. My parents sacrificed so much to be here, my grandparents as well.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot about the impact that our choices have. And, I've had a lot of experiences in my own life where, I feel like they could have either been tough or good, but either way, I can use them to benefit myself and others.
Yeah. Dude, that's so cool. Honestly, like, so they both moved from Korea and they went to Hawaii, and I love the way you said Hawaii, by the way. Hawaii. Like
Yeah.
that was smooth. You
Thanks,
just
bro.
rolled off the tongue. It was
Thanks,
nice.
bro.
And then Chicago. So how did they meet? How did that happen?
Yeah, so yeah, my mom moved to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And she did high school and everything out there. And my dad moved to Hawaii when he was 19,
Okay, yeah.
went to BYUH, did like a bit of school, and then got his mission call to Chicago.
No
He met
way.
my mom there, dude.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that's pretty lit.
I know,
Honestly.
right?
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
same reaction every time, man. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of guy, I don't really believe in like luck or coincidence. Like
Hmm.
I really do think like we either make our own luck or God's looking out for us,
Right.
right? So they met in
Most of the time it's
Chicago.
the second one.
Yeah, I know, right? Like we only can do so much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, by the grace of God, like my parents met, and I say it's by grace because I'm so grateful to have them as my parents.
Yeah.
So they met in Chicago while my dad was still a missionary, and then when he got released, he still stayed in touch with my mom, and they ended up meeting up and dating and got married.
So cool. Wow, that's amazing. So what do you do now? Tell us a little bit about yourself. That was kind of your whole family upbringing, which is super cool, by the way.
Thanks.
But what about you? Where are you at now?
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been living in Utah for a minute now. I'm 29, and I've been here since I got home from my mission.
Where'd you go?
I served in Brazil.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got back 2014. So I've been here like 8, almost 9 years now.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been dope, dude. Just like, I just feel so lucky to be here. There are a lot of great people, and it's so social, really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, so right now I'm just school and work. My academic history is long, but not a lot of progress has been made.
yeah.
I definitely have an unconventional like route, I guess we can say.
Okay.
I'll probably talk about it at some point.
Yeah.
But presently, to answer your question, I'm at BYU, so going to school, working at the BYU Office of IT, doing product management,
Oh,
and
sweet.
just living in Vineyard, Utah, and just having a good time.
Dude, love it. Okay, very cool. Sweet. So let's move on to part one. The topic of today is how to keep your eyes on the prize, or essentially keep your vision in your head at all the time. And that's a really hard thing to do, way easier said than done. So Aaron, let's leave it off to you. What are some things that you do to keep your eyes on the prize?
Man, that's a good question, Tanner. I kind of wish that we were kind of talking outside of this podcast because I'd love to hear your thoughts too, man. You're such a
I'll give
cool
a couple
guy.
thoughts. Don't worry.
Please do, man, dude. I'm one of your listeners. I'd love to hear. Yeah, dude. For me, keeping my eyes on the prize, dude. I feel like kind of like what you said. It's so easy to forget. You have to be intentional. You have to be intentional with keeping things focused. A lot of like our present culture is designed to distract us and to keep us involved or absorbed in one thing,
Yeah.
right? Like that's how a lot of people monetize. They keep you in just one area, in that field, that platform, whatever.
Right.
And I feel like given the amount of distractions we have, I just think it's so important. And I think this is the toughest part, Tanner. You have to set aside time
Mm,
actually dictate what your prize is.
right.
If it's ill-defined, I don't think it'll ever come into fruition.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the number one thing I have to say. Time is such a limited resource.
Right.
Everyone has 24 hours a day, though. Everyone does.
True. Yeah.
So you take that time, you set aside that time with intentionality, and you really define what's important to you.
That's so cool. An analogy that just came to my head about what you're saying is a prescription for glasses or something like that. And when you want to see something clearly, you have to get the correct prescription. You have to take the time to go to the eye doctor and get it figured out so you can get that focus that you're looking for. Otherwise, it's going to be blurry, and you're going to be like, "Crap, I can't see anything. I can't do anything, and this is not anywhere I want to go." But you have to take that time. You have to go to the eye doctor. You have to take those eye tests. I don't actually know. I don't wear glasses, but
Dude, that's such a good analogy, though, man.
yeah. So it kind of reminds me of you got to take that time to make sure you can get that focus clear in sight.
And if I could add one thought to that,
Yeah,
dude,
of course, go for it.
dude, there's also something to be said about relying on others too. I think a lot of people just try to muscle their way through stuff.
Right.
I speak for myself. Like, I hate inconveniencing people, Tanner. It's one of the
Yeah.
things I try to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
But like, you're not supposed to get through life alone. And like every single successful person, like I listen to How I Built This all the time.
Oh, I love that.
Dude, not a single one of those people got to where they were without help.
Right.
And I think they were humble enough to accept it and were opportunistic enough that when that help arrived, they totally used it.
Yeah.
So, kind of like with your analogy with the eye doctor, like you can't come up with your own prescription. You have no way of testing that on your own.
Yeah.
You rely on his or her expertise.
Right.
So I think there's a lot to be said about, asking for help.
Yeah, that's wow, great insight. That's cool. And another thing, kind of on top of that, is to make sure that when you are aware of what you can and can't see, and with other people, you need that too. And it's kind of hard to like compare and say, man, that guy can see so far, but this girl can see to the moon or whatever. But then you think, I can't even see that. I can't read that. You know how they do that? You're like, oh, look at that. Look at what the sign says. And people are like, I can't even read that. How do you read that? They're like, can you read this and about that? And they start talking, But it's important to understand, can I see this? Is it visual? Is it a visual for me? And especially when you're a kid, you're 3-4 years old and you don't have good vision, kids don't know. Like, they don't know any better. They think, okay, cool, yeah, this is, I guess it's just blurry at, in 2 feet, but at 4 feet, it looks great. I don't know. And they just move on, right? But understanding where you're at and where other people can help you is another good thing of saying, this is important for me to really dial in and say, I need to fix this and I need to get my vision clear. Otherwise, I'm going to be living in a blurry life. So, okay, cool. What about some other things? Any other insight you have on keeping that vision intact?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one thing that I think is really helpful. Have you heard of the book Atomic Habits?
Oh, dude, so good.
Dude, it's funny. I've actually never read it.
No way.
I've heard so many good things.
Oh, dude.
And like kind of like what you're saying, like the kind of like enthusiasm and passion that people, like, it's a very visceral reaction. It's like,
Oh my gosh.
oh, dude, so good.
It's so life-changing, honestly.
It is, dude.
Yeah.
And like,
You got to read it, bro.
I should, honestly. But because of that kind of reaction, Tanner, I like will pick people's brains. I'm like, okay, tell me about it.
Yeah, right.
And I should, not be lazy. I should read the book. But something that someone told me once, and I just thought it was so cool, was kind of like setting up your environment for success, right? Just an example that I think of, I'm a morning person. I love waking up and just like getting my day started. But
So
sometimes like you spent a late night out and you ate like crap, and you're just like, don't want to wake up early. But like I try to go to the gym in the morning.
Okay. What time? What time do you go?
I wake up at 6:30.
Love it. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Same thing. Same here, actually. 6:30.
Oh, let's go, dude. Yeah. So
I'm gonna
like
text you right when I wake up tomorrow. Be like, hey, are you up? Let's do it.
I would appreciate it, man.
All right.
Accountability is great, dog.
All right.
Yeah. So I try to set up my environment for success by like laying out my gym clothes that I'm gonna wear the next day. I
Yeah.
just put them like right next to my bed.
Right.
So it's just so much more conducive to my success in going to the gym. I also have like an LED light bulb thingy, no LED Bluetooth light bulb.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
might be LEDs. I don't think they
It
are.
probably is some sort of light.
It's some sort of light. Yeah, but like I have it set so that at around 6:30 the light will come on full
Yeah.
force so that in tandem with my alarm, it's just
Whether
like
you
really
like it or
bright.
not, it's on.
The light's gonna turn on,
Yeah.
right? And I keep my alarm far away from my bed, my phone. Yeah, I
Right.
keep it far away from my bed, so I have to get up, lights on, loud noises, and then I'm up and I look at my clothes and I'm like, okay, I can put those
This
on.
is it. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're doing
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, so just like setting up your environment for success. Like, in just one other quick story, I have a friend. He has like the biggest sweet tooth I've ever seen in my life, and he
Yeah.
literally like his room looked like a candy shop. It had the glass jars like chock full of all sorts of candies, dude.
No way.
Like literally, imagine a cop like
He's
a
the
candy
Willy
shop.
Wonka himself.
He's Willy Wonka in the flesh, dude. But yeah, like he was so bothered by that though, but he wouldn't do anything about it. And then
Yeah.
finally one day, and I'm not kidding, it was like cold turkey, I guess
Yeah.
for lack
Like
of a
an
better
epiphany
term.
one day.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't just like give it away or whatever, or repurpose it. He just threw everything in the trash.
Wow.
And like he started to feel healthier.
Hmm.
He, just made a positive change in his life. And I think it's because the environment that he was in was causing him to do something he didn't want to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I think setting up your environment for success is super important.
That is so cool. That story is powerful. And another thing to note is giving it all away is a great thing, but there's something to be said about just throwing it away or like burning it or just getting it out of your life and just rejecting it completely.
Wow.
And like I don't want this for anyone. And just so to speak. And you can say giving candy to kids, not strangers cuz that's kind of something people don't do. But like giving candy to your nieces or nephews or whatever is a good thing to do, but there's something powerful about just throw it away.
Wow.
Just get rid of it. Put
So
it in the
true.
trash. Never see it of again. Just rid it of your life and get rid. That was something that I used to. So a little note about me is I used to be like 250 pounds.
You're kidding.
And no, this is crazy. And there was some times where I would be eating a donut or something and be like halfway through and be like, realize just like in my head, what am I doing? I don't want this. This is not what I want in my life. And I would just immediately just throw it in the trash.
Wow.
And I'd just be like, bro, let's get this out of here. Just eject mode. Just just throw it. Not barfing, but that's not
Oh,
healthy
yeah.
either.
That's actually not what I was
yeah,
thinking.
that's not. but just get it out of your life. Just as soon as you recognize it, as soon as it's in your head, you're like, okay, this is it. This is the moment where I make or break. And when you just throw it away and just get rid of it, it's empowering. Like it makes you stronger for sure. So
That is
I like
awesome.
that. That's something that
I respect the discipline, man.
Oh, it's not easy. Let's be real. But yeah, so creating an environment, and like you said, it can be preventative, and instead of having to throw this stuff away, create an environment where it never happens in the first place, and then you can say, all right, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my defining moment, and I don't have to make that decision. I don't have to waste that mental energy or decision process of debating with my inner self of like, oh, should I do it? Should I not? It's like, nope, we're doing it.
Wow.
That's it. And then once that decision is made, it actually relieves stress because oftentimes people are like, oh, I decided, and then I get so riled up and so stressed about something that I thought I was going to do. But then you catch that last part and they thought they were going to do it, but they haven't actually decided yet. And once you make that decision of this is it, there is no going back, you cut the rope, you burn the ship, so to speak, it relieves that tension. You're like, whew, all right, we're doing this.
Wow.
This is it.
Who would have thought that decision making could be so liberating?
Right?
That is awesome.
Crazy. Yeah. And Tony Child is a Elevated Worldwide. I'm doing those courses right now, actually. And he talks a lot about that. And he talks about decision making is the antidote for stress and anxiety.